Hello everybody, my name is Zool and welcome to another episode of the Kotor Mod Showcase. In today's episode, we are going to be doing a little bit of a retrospective look back at an older mod that has recently been re-released on deadlystream.com. Welcome to my review of Darth Shen's Droid Planet mod. This mod, like M478, restores M478 to the game. However, unlike the modern versions of this mod, it merely uses the bones, the outline of the Droid Planet mod, and allows that to be a vector for the author to create something completely his own. Darth Shen did not attempt to recreate what was lost, but merely used some of the ideas to create something that he thought was worthy of putting into the game. The story of this mod begins on Goto's yacht, which the player eventually discovers was built on a mysterious planet called M478. After traveling to a couple of different planets and consulting with the rather mysterious acting T3M4, the player discovers the location to the Droid Planet mod. The author of this mod added a rather interesting way of getting to the planet. Because of technological reasons, during the time that this mod was created, only one planet could appear on the galaxy map at a time, added by a mod. This is still a bit of a restriction, but not as much. So the mod author made it so that you could go to the security cameras on the Ebon Hawk, and then that would take you to M478. It's kind of an interesting workaround. Anyways, once you arrive on the planet, you are then greeted by the Droid Archon, which for some strange reason is a fish. This is because I think the fish were used as a placeholder model in the, while they were designing this level originally in Obsidian, and the mod author for some reason stuck with this. I found it a little strange, especially since the fish actually refer to themselves as fish. But anyway, once you speak with them, you determine that the planet is shut off, some mysterious things are going on, and you need to go ahead and find M478, which is the planet's core, and restore things to normal. So the plot sounds fairly similar to the M478 that we do all know. But there are definitely a lot of differences. One of the first things you'll notice, other than the fish archons, is that the planet is very, very barren. There's not a lot on the surface of the planet. There are a couple of droids who are rather interesting to talk to, I think. There is a vendor that I met who attempts to scam you out of some credits. I thought that was pretty interesting. But for the most part, you're just going to encounter droids who go ahead and try to shoot you. There was this other little astromech droid who I thought was very interesting on the planet. He attempted to sell me a program that would help me bypass the minefields, and you can gain some dark side points from doing that. And this fellow here, who I think is a vendor or something like that. It's a nice little touch, it's a bit of charm, something that I think is kind of missing in the modern form of M478. Once you've solved all of the planet's problems, you encounter perhaps the most bizarre thing in this mod, and that is a star map. The star map, I guess, was placed here by the Rakatan Empire, who created this planet. And then after that, you meet the planet's core, which is this fish floating in a computerized tank. This fish goes on to tell you that Revan once visited this planet before disappearing off into the unknown realms. And he tells you that T3 was built on M478, which is really weird, and when we live streamed this part of it, everybody was making a lot of jokes about it because it doesn't really make sense with the lore of KOTOR 1, but that's not the point. You get here, you have this really bizarre conversation with the fish, and he tells you he is the creator of this planet and he's controlling it, and that the Rakatan Empire built it to create a massive droid army, and that Revan was here before. Your character is then named the heir of Revan for some reason, and things just go off the rails and it gets really crazy. There's not much more I can really say about this mod because it's something we've seen before, and it spirals out of control into this really crazy section right away. For example, we can see all of these Goto droids being constructed here, and there's also a bunch of alien eggs that I don't think I ended up finding an explanation for, but they are all over the place in an area on the planet, and I'm not quite sure what that's about. So to conclude, the older version of M478 is an interesting thing. If you're interested in KOTOR's history or just want a really wacky ride filled with a lot of grindy combat, then maybe go ahead and download this mod and check it out. However, I personally don't think this mod stands the test of time. It has really interesting ideas. I like how you have to discover your way to this planet. I like, you know, some of the droids you meet and some of the other stuff like that. Maybe even some of the relation to the Rakatan Empire, although I think it gets a little bit kind of off the rails in the end. But overall, not really worth your time playing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it was a little bit rambly. I basically live streamed the entire playthrough of this mod, and then I played through it partially again to get some more footage for this video here. But when I was playing the mod, I couldn't help feeling how strange and outdated it felt. Maybe I'm a little bit spoiled by some of the modern stuff. If you'd like to see more videos from me, please consider subscribing to my channel, all that kind of great stuff. And check out my free game review series that occurs on the channel. If you are short on cash but need some games, you know, check it out. I'll throw a link in the description. I've been Zool. Hope you have an excellent day. Goodbye.